What if I told you 90% of startups will fail, but the ones that succeed have one shocking thing in common? By the end of this video, you'll know how to create a professional podcast video that dives deep into the topic of failure, and more importantly, how to turn those failure stories into lessons for success. You'll learn the exact strategies and techniques used by top entrepreneurs to overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. Now, I know what you're thinking: why would anyone want to create a podcast about failure? But hear me out, because the truth is, failure is a stepping stone to success, and the stories of failure can be incredibly inspiring and motivating. Just think about it: every successful entrepreneur has experienced failure at some point in their journey, but it's how they learned from those failures that made all the difference. But here's what nobody tells you: the key to creating a successful podcast about failure is not just about sharing stories, but about creating a narrative that resonates with your audience. So, let's dive into the world of podcast video creation, and explore how you can create a professional-looking and sounding podcast that explores the topic of failure. First, you're going to need some basic equipment, such as a good microphone, a camera, and a computer with video editing software. But what's really important is not just the equipment, but how you use it to create an engaging and immersive experience for your audience. For example, you could use a mix of close-up shots and wide shots to create a sense of intimacy and grandeur, or you could use animation and graphics to illustrate key points and make the content more engaging. But here's the thing: creating a podcast about failure is not just about sharing stories. It's about creating a journey that takes your audience from a place of curiosity to a place of inspiration and motivation. So, how do you do that? Well, one way is to use storytelling techniques, such as creating a narrative arc that takes your audience on a journey from failure to success. You could also use interviews with successful entrepreneurs who have experienced failure, and learn from their experiences and insights. But what nobody tells you is that the most important thing is to be authentic and vulnerable, to share your own stories of failure and how you overcame them. Now, I want to share with you a story of failure that I think will inspire you. It's the story of Airbnb, which was on the verge of bankruptcy just a few years after it was founded. But the founders didn't give up. They used their failure as an opportunity to learn and pivot, and today Airbnb is one of the most successful companies in the world. But here's what's really interesting: the founders of Airbnb have said that their failure was actually a blessing in disguise, because it forced them to think outside the box and come up with innovative solutions to their problems. So, how can you apply this to your own